It's Sunday here in Cheshire, and I've got into the habit of trying to find a way to talk about religion on a Sunday. I don't know why exactly, but what I've been thinking about during the week actually was to do with sacraments, the Christian sacraments particularly, and what the status of those things are. Because I'm not a Christian, I haven't really followed religion as a practice with any serious intent ever. I only really came across sacraments quite recently. Let me just see if I can remember what they are. I think there are 7. God, what are they? Confirmation. This is not in right order, of course. Confirmation, ordination. What's it called when you get christened? Christening. Confession. Oh God, I can't remember this. There's something else, and then there's last rites. So there's a bunch of particular. Oh, I think a Eucharist. That's right, Eucharist and last rites. So there's a whole bunch of activities that Christians are supposed to engage themselves in, which have a particular significance and relevance. And these are the sacraments, sacred activities, blessings or whatever. And if I understand the tradition correctly, at least some of them were supposed to have been conducted by Jesus himself, although there's of course no evidence for any of that. And I don't have any real truck with those. I mean, I can kind of see the consolation value of something like last rites, and I can see the kind of therapeutic value of confession sometimes. But I don't really have any truck with any of those in particular. But I do like the idea of sacramental thinking, or the idea of sacraments. Not fixed within a particularly a Christian mythological context, but perhaps fixed within some other kind of context. Because one of the things it seems to me that sacraments are doing, and I'll stay with the Christian sacraments for now, is, well, in that case, first off, they are supposedly at least, connecting you historically and traditionally with the kind of centre point of that faith, the origins of the whole point of it, really, with the figure of Jesus Christ in that case. But it's not just connecting you with that; it's also connecting you in a most kind of literal sense with everybody else who's ever done that in the past, and all the people who are doing that now. Because I don't know how many Christians there are, several billion, I'm sure. And a lot of them will be going through exactly the same sacraments. They'll all be doing the communion. They'll all be doing the last rites stuff. They'll all be getting christened or whatever it is. And at that moment, when you do it as well, there's a kind of collapsing of space and time, I think, so that you're all singing from the same hymn book, quite literally at that moment. And it is quite literally a moment of communion. Even if it's communion in death or communion in confession or whatever it may be. So I think there's something quite interesting psychologically and socially happening with the idea of that. And the fact that it's given the status of the sacrament, which gives it the status of the sacred, is quite interesting. I mean, I don't really, because I have no faith, I've not any relationship to the religiously sacred, but I can certainly feel the existence of the sacred. I can feel all kinds of taboos hedging in my behaviour. I could never cut up a photograph of one of my children, or I could never, there's lots and lots of things I just couldn't do, because they're of the completely visceral and completely embodied sense of something approximating the sacred in my thinking. So I quite like the idea of sacramental thinking. It seems to be going on with me to the extent that I think things are sacred, somehow, secularly sacred. And I can see the value of the sacraments in that collapsing of space and time and joining together in communion that they represent. I probably wouldn't choose those. I might have something like last rites, because I quite like that. But I probably wouldn't choose those others. In fact, I think there's lots of other moments for sacramental thinking which are missed and which take place every day. I mean, I'm walking down this path here, Salt Line, in Cheshire, old railway line, and all the time I'm walking down here, I'm feeling the earth under my feet, I'm feeling the cold on my fingers, and those feelings are completely shared by everybody who's got a body a bit like mine. And with a little bit of effort, I can kind of imagine that thing happening. In fact, I can see people on the salt line way up ahead of me, and there's people behind me. And I know that their feet are doing what my feet are doing, and I know that the feelings in their hands are like mine, in a way that that isn't distanced and detached. It's completely empathic and intimate, actually. Morning. Yeah, it's very sleepy. And even things like breathing, you know, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out here. And people have been breathing in and breathing out for millions of years. And everybody on the planet's breathing in and breathing out along with me right now in this big chorus of inhalation and exhalation. And not just humans, of course, the dogs are doing it as well. And everything else that's a breathing creature is doing it. And here we all are metabolizing together. And aging, and all our cells are being replaced all together in a great tidal wave of biochemical activity. If I was going to construct some formal sacraments, and I wouldn't dream of doing that, but if I was, I would build my sacraments around the biology of the body, around the physics of the elements, around the astrophysics of bodies whirling in space and all of the gravitational and centrifugal forces that creates. I would build my sacraments around these things, I think. Look at this lane, isn't that gorgeous?